Hey guys, so I bet if you are a Shopify seller, you got the same email that I did earlier this week, and that was the updates to Shopify's supplemental terms for agentic storefronts. And so I just wanted to pop on here, talk about it, and see what you thought, see if you'd had a chance to take a look at it. Also, I did the TLDR, so you didn't have to, but definitely, open to your thoughts and concerns. So there was a couple of, I guess what you would say, vocabulary words in this thing that we probably need to go over, but we'll talk about the TLDR first. So I'm going to open up a slideshow if I can, and it's kind of fun. I used AI to do all this stuff, so we'll see how it goes. I don't know if it's going to be any good, but um, the information will be good. Slide stink. Look at that. Okay, coming to you from my kitchen. Dressed up for you today because obviously I'm going to be going to Orange Theory in a little bit. But I took the email that if you haven't seen it yet, it came from Shopify to me yesterday, and the subject line was updates to Shopify supplemental terms for agentic storefronts. So yeah, it sounded like something that we probably needed to pay attention to and take a look at. So let me grab the TLDR for us. And okay, so number one, the key functionality is that we are going to be able to sell everywhere. Okay. The borderless merchant. So it's going to let us sell our products directly through Shopify's partners, which we've already been selling through Google Merchant Center, but also Microsoft Copilot and chat. So our products are going to travel wherever the buyer is. We're going to manage everything from our Shopify base. The great thing about it is that AI agents are going to do the heavy lifting, but the bad news is we are obviously going to a little bit of control. Okay. So even though, let's see, even though, they'll be selling everywhere, we are still, as a Shopify store owner, we are still the seller of record. Okay. So people can buy directly from that partner's app or whatever AI interface they're working in. But we're still the seller of record. The transaction is still processed through our Shopify store, which, as we're going to see here, is going to have its pros and cons. I guess one of the pros is that there's going to be kind of a unified experience. But the problem is, like, whatever work you do to, brand your product, it could be overridden by whoever is actually selling your product. So let's say Google or Microsoft is the one that's putting your product out there and allowing the checkout to happen right within their system. They can customize the checkout to look like their own website and their own, like Microsoft stuff or Google stuff or whatever. So this could override any kind of custom branding that we have, or if you've got specific Shopify checkout extensions installed, it can override that as well. And then there's also an issue of potential feature gaps because not all of our stores' custom shipping options or, like, say, opt-ins are going to be available. Or, like, say you have a loyalty program or something like that, it may not work with that partner's interface. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about economics and data, the fees, the taxes, the customer relationships. This is the whole reason I came to Shopify, so I could control my data. And now they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to kind of give your customer data and control over to someone else. And not to mention, we're going to charge you for the pleasure of us doing that. So let's get into that a little. So in terms of fees, Shopify might charge a specific Agentic Storefront fee, and that's going to be per transaction on these channels. And apologies if it's not real well there. I don't know that Shopify payment fee. And then the fourth line says promotional periods. I don't know why it's showing up like that on mine. It's offset. So I apologize that that's hard to read. But anyway, the additional fees are that Shopify may charge a specific agentic storefront fee per transaction on those channels on top of your usual subscription and payment fees. If there is a refund, if the transaction is refunded, you get the agentic storefront fee back, but not the standard Shopify payments transaction fee. Oh, goody. This reminds me of the Amazon model, because if you've ever sold on Amazon, it's kind of like that. Because just a side little caveat here and a little rant on Amazon. One of my least favorite things about selling on Amazon is that, people will often use your product and then send it back because they don't need it anymore. So now you're out the money for the product, the shipping, blah, 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 all that type of stuff, right? And it's like, oh, goody. Now Shopify is subscribing to that dark magic. But anyway, and then if, so you run the risk of not getting, money back or whatever. And then there's also a tax remittance, which is fine, but it just seems like something a little bit extra to track. So I'm wondering how Shopify is going to handle this. But it says that Shopify reserves the right to collect and remit sales tax on these transactions if they deem it legally necessary, which I don't have a problem with. That is actually kind of helpful to me. But I definitely would love to know what you think. Now let's talk about data privacy security, because I know this is where things are going to get a little bit spicy. And I imagine there's going to be issues on this in the future as everybody kind of gets it figured out. But first, in terms of data sharing permissions, Shopify is going to share customer and transaction data with their partners to process orders, provide status updates, and prevent fraud. And then the privacy policy is kind of strange because both your privacy policy and the partner's privacy policy apply to the customer. So I'm just like, I wonder if there's like a conflict in the terms of service, or the privacy policies or any policy in general. If there's a conflict, like who gets to win that competition? You know what I mean? That's my question. For me, as a manufacturer, I don't give refunds. I don't allow returns. I don't give refunds. And so all of this makes me just kind of go, oh, is it going to make me ineligible to be on one of these AI platforms if I don't change my policies? Or will they allow me to enforce my policies? Or will they overrule my policies? Like, so many questions and no real answers right now. And then there is the obligations of the merchant, kind of stay eligible for these things. So who knows, maybe I missed this and I haven't even gotten to it yet. So first of all, you can disable specific partners in your Shopify admin at any time. I haven't looked at this yet. But I guess if there is a huge conflict with what you've got going on in your policies and whoever you're selling through, you could disable them. Then you can also hide products. So you can disable your participation, but know that disabling that participation may still leave products discoverable. I guess, I don't know, is that because you've just got amazing SEO or something? But you got to follow specific steps to hide them entirely. So unless you opt out, you are giving Shopify permission to push your products into AI and partner platforms, and you keep the sale, but you lose some control over the look and feel of checkout, and you might pay an extra fee for the privilege. So let's look at the timeline of this. Let's see. Okay, so March 10th, that terms update was issued. Partner ongoing. Or, oh gosh, why can't I talk today? I'm so sorry. I guess I can never talk any day, but whatever. Partner onboarding begins and terms go effective on May 25th. And then throughout Q3, it's the AI agent scaling phase. So we do know that the future is agentic, and Shopify is doing us a favor to empower us to exist wherever the conversation happens. But there are going to be some trade-offs. So definitely reach out to Shopify, check your admin, and also check to make sure you're staying up to date on what's happening with your store, because even though it feels like your store, we're still running it on Shopify's platform. Therefore, we are, at the mercy of Shopify's rules. So I hope you enjoyed this impromptu live. I'd love to know what you think. And I'm going to pop off now and I'll check back. If you've got any comments, please drop them. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that. I'm trying to hit 500 this year. Wouldn't that be awesome? So I'd love it. And if you have anything that you want me to check on, if you want to chat about questions about these policy changes, please let me know. I'm happy to dive into it even more. But I thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you on the next episode of the Simple and Smart SEO Show podcast. All right, bye.